Test, test, test. Alright, it's on. Whoever finds this file, my name is Drexus, and I'm a hacker from hell. Literally from hell. In the past few months, I've been collecting data from across the 7 rings. Photographs, recordings, videos, and other pieces of information that I will soon give to various mortal organizations. Our shattered reality shall come to an end. It must come to an end if I wish to become stronger. The following is one such recording of none other than the High Curator of the Stygian Court, high as shit of some Lust Ring brew. Enjoy.
Alright. I believe there are some matters that need to be discussed. I do not find purpose in having to write down my sentiments on paper, so the world would read my lamentations and feel sorrow for a troubled walker, serving as a mere cog in the gold-plated machine of egotism I like to call the Superbian realm. It is not my pleasure to do so, for I have better methods to aid me in my darkest hours. I am a psychologist. I attend meditations to channel my virtue deep within my being and to repel from my negative thoughts, ideas, or emotion, and I have a group of devoted friends and scientists alike that offer their knowledge and expertise into the much needed research of mankind. However, similar to many other entities that draw their breaths, there are some limitations. And who else can cross these mental boundaries I've set other than the esteemed imperial couple of the Pride Ring? They promised me the knowledge I've been looking for over the last 10,000 years, in exchange for my eternal servitude to their cause. But what did I end up becoming other than a glorified secretary bearing a fancy title? The monarchs are out for a delegation, and they took most of their companions with them, somewhere in Luxuria, and I stand in my office with a bottle of Zagan Vineyards black wine, some Incubus erotica the Empress brought me as a gift for all the work that I do down here, even though I keep telling her that I do not need them, for I have my own research materials. A magic shit-ton of ancient tomes, rescued from the ruins of the Pandemonium Citadel, and my eternal ally, a gilded notebook. Those two could not even bother to leave someone else behind, other than the sole guards of the palace, as if I am some prisoner that they have been programmed to look over, not as someone who is tasked to forever analyze, store, and protect the sacred knowledge of the archives. At the very least, they brought leave me some food as well, so we're not starved while we're attending to their crucial matters. Yet, as much as I complain about my current situation, the silence often broken by the sound of whirring machines roaming around the palace is welcome. From silence I can bring out the greatest ideas and solve the most puzzling myths and mysteries, and thankfully, it is quite calming, allowing me to meditate in peace. Let me go for another sip. Why am I even bothering to walk here? I tend to ask myself, in the small privacy I can get. I could just quit this position, move as far away as I can, and finally get some rest from the millennia of work I've invested underneath this damn palace. I made a name for myself within demonkind, so there should be plenty of choices, correct? But where am I even supposed to go? The Sloth Ring, too cold and agitated, and now I'm certain every single corner of this land is monitored by Belphegor's outer machines. The Greed Ring? Good luck on getting robbed and murdered by a gang of Otori the second you step into the Hangman's End. The Gluttony Ring? Well, the good thing is that nobody goes there, and the bad thing is nobody goes there, and for a good reason. Alas, I do have to give credit where credit is due, as they did custom. This palace may be an awful place to walk with, especially with everybody else messing around in its gilded walls of megalomania, acting like they are some pinnacle of Genesis. At the very last, the Emperor was kind enough to give me a roof above my head, a more than decent salary, plenty of food, and a personal guard in exchange of me working as the High Curator of the palace's sacred archives. I'm aware that he's only doing this to keep me around and do his secretary work, but who am I to complain about it? He's an egotistical shell of a man, a ruler who puts himself above everyone else, not just in politics, but in private life as well, an artificial construct made by a god that no longer cares about its fallen offspring, born with a desire to overthrow his creator and rule over existence itself. But at least he's not a great douchebag to me or the others that partake in this gathering of sociopaths, eldritch entities, and spoiled rich children. His charisma is intoxicating, capable of convincing even the rocks about what a powerful and excellent leader he is, hiding his true identity of a narcissistic conqueror who would stop at nothing to get things done his way. And the Empress is not some saint either, even if she may have been created as one. The corruption of hell can do a real number on somebody, especially those weak of will and strength. What was once a humble, determined, and respectable woman became a hedonistic, sadistic, and ruthless matriarch, a ruler corrupted to her very existence, desiring nothing but flesh, soul, blood, and other corporeal fluids. I'm not one to keep an eye on my superiors, but of all the context clues I've uncovered, I lead me to believe that she more than often conducts demonic rituals within the palace's walls, although she's restricted from doing so. Bloody monarchs. They also have a way of convincing you to do all the menial work, while they can do all the important stuff like holding grand speeches and improving and changing the world for the betterment of all humankind, or holding feasts for the people you know very well hate. They must keep the facade of a generous and well-intended person. Putting all my prime ring problems aside, I'm writing down this foreword as a reason. Recently, I and other members of the now defunct Watchers have concluded that the popularity of the Dark Elves has grown quite a lot in the past few decades. Pagan religions making a comeback and wishing to overthrow Christianity, wishing a more positive and accepting message. Demons being represented in the mainstream media of Terra, no longer as frightening, grotesque, and otherworldly entities, but more in the likeness of flawless, sympathetic characters. Alas, if it suits the narrative that the artist in question seeks to deliver, and has some sort of semblance to the society, culture, and history hell has, I'm not in the place to complain about it. I will not attempt to hide my true intentions behind some beautiful lies. Saying the progress of the mission being aided by the mortals themselves fills my heart with a sense of accomplishment, a feeling that I thought had long since vanished. People who may be familiar with my earlier works know that I brought sacred knowledge upon the men and women of old, from weaponsmithing to alchemy, along with my Watcher brethren. Although we followed the lead of the Morning Star and turned against our creator in the pursuit of freedom from under his chains, our purpose has always remained the same, bringing knowledge to all that seek to obtain it. Our plans were cut short due to the Great Flood, eliminating both the ancient civilizations and our next of kin, but now it seems that our mission has found its new members to continue it. So, in an attempt to bring in the chaotic, unruly, and dark nature of hell, and the demon kind to display for the seekers of knowledge, enlighten any petitions of the dark arts, either novice or veteran, and piss off the Emperor for how obnoxious he can tend to be, I've decided to begin my work on a brand new tone, one that would expose the deepest and darkest secrets that this hellhole hides from your average individual. With the aid of the aforementioned tomes I have brought with me to my office, I will try my best to compile the information the readers will have to learn so they can make their choice of their ideal afterlife or how to prepare should they be brought in the Dark Realm to atone for their sins committed in their past life. From accurate descriptions of the 7 rings and their cities to the various individuals from all humankind, all of these from an objective, unbiased, and accurate source of information. That source being me, of course. If any entity from the mortal realm happens to stumble upon this tome, consider yourself lucky. At the very least, you will eventually die a bit more knowledgeable of what comes next. Once you finish reading this tome and no longer desire to wonder for your reasons, like believing it was not a piece of garbage, or was unreliable or perverted, I would like to suggest that you burn this down, spare other people from ever laying eyes upon this abomination, and send the book back to the hellhole that it crawled from. Maybe that way, some lessons will learn a thing or two about the world outside the rings.